Hi guys, welcome back to Men Pen and Kitchen. I am Aayushman. So today we have a very special guest with us tonight. We finally get to the kitchen part of Men Pen and Kitchen, and
To voyage the kitchen with us, we have Mr. Anand Sekhar, please, who happens to be
Hi guys.
the father, the founder, the progenitor, the creator of.
algorithm-based cooking. Yeah, you heard that right. Oh, he also happens to have a major in finance, masters in finance, but that's beside the point.
So we are finally going to get to algo cooking. Let's get to it.
Oh, by the way, the dish we're preparing is egg curry.
Yes.
So, the first part of the algorithm that we are talking about today is how to boil an egg. Over to Anand.
So boiling an egg is, I would say, a very versatile thing to do because once you boil an egg, you can do a lot with it. But how to boil an egg remains a mystery. There's a very simple algorithm of doing it, and since we are talking about algorithmic cooking today, we are going to use algorithms to, go through different parts of cooking. So to boil an egg, you boil water first. You put enough water that the eggs are completely submerged. Bring it to a boil. Put the eggs in boiling water and leave it for 15 minutes. Turn it off after 15 minutes and you have hard-boiled eggs to go forward with.
So the second step of the recipe is how to cut an onion, and Anand is going to share the algorithm for it. Over to Anand.
Right. So onion is something that goes into a lot of recipes, and cutting onion properly can make a big difference. And it's not as difficult as it looks. You don't need to know your way around a knife to sort of cut your onion properly. We can do it fairly easily using an algorithm. So the first thing which I have done over here already is I have cut the stem of the onion from one side, and that's how you start. You leave the other part of it so that the onion remains intact. You will understand what I'm saying once I show you how it's done. And then you just slice it into half, and we'll be using each of the halves to further dice the onion. And once you have sliced it into half, you just need to peel the top layer. It helps you cut the onion, and the rest is you have to cut the onion in 3 dimensions if you want very fine slices or very fine pieces. The first is going to be a slice like this, and I think depending on the size of the onion, 1 or 2 slices are enough. The second is going to be along the length of the onion, and you can make it very, very close as you can. And if you look over here, you can see that the root ensures that the pieces do not go anywhere and you don't have to worry about holding it together. And the final is cutting it in the 3rd dimension, and this will give you finely chopped onions.
So, after the 2 steps, we are now on to the third part of the algorithm for cooking an egg curry. And that is essentially preparing the base or the gravy or the curry or the masala, whatever you call it.
So the masala is an integral part of most Indian recipes and dishes, and I'm going to tell you a visual feedback based algorithm to cook a curry, and we are not going to introduce timelines here. What we need to understand is that different things cook at a different pace. So for example, a tomato cooks faster than an onion, and a masala cooks fastest because the 2 variables at play are the structure of the thing which we are putting in and its surface area. So hence the order which is usually there is you put the onion first, then the tomatoes which require lesser amount of cooking, and then the spices which have a very high surface area and require the least amount of cooking. And you can extend this philosophy to basically whatever you are putting in your food. You can sort of guess whether something like a cream or a dahi requires less amount of cooking and hence goes towards the last.
So here we are at the fourth step of the recipe. That is how to peel boiled eggs. Anand?
So peeling an egg can be cumbersome, but if you apply an algorithm to it, it becomes relatively very simple. So you take a hard-boiled egg, you very gently toss it on the countertop, and once you have broken it a little bit, you just roll it with your hand on the countertop, and you just pick it out. So there's another way of peeling the egg. It's more fun rather than practical, but yeah, I would like to show it. So what you do is you break the top of the egg, you break the bottom of the egg a little bit, you peel both sides a little bit, not completely, and this is more for show than practical use. I mean, you can probably use it to impress someone, I guess. Now once you have peeled the top and the bottom, all that you have to do is blow from the bottom and you have your... So the finishing steps are very simple. You fry the eggs in a pan, you put it in the curry, and the curry has a little bit of water, you let it cook for some time, and yes, you're done.
So guys, we're at the end of today's video. It was the first cooking video from Men Pen and Kitchen. And we have our special guest Anand, of course, whom you saw throughout the video. Any final words?
All that I would like to say is no one told me about each of these algorithms, and each of them have been developed over years of cooking and learning. The central idea here is that you go out, you cook, you experiment, and you figure out what works for you. You figure out your feedback loops of how to make your food better.
So guys, keep following Men Pen and Kitchen. We finally brought the kitchen to the Men Pen Kitchen, and Baby Shark is here in case, which I'm sure you did miss it. And see you around next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.